What's up guys, it's your boy here back again with some new content for you guys. This is a bit different to my normal style of content. It's only because I've been really busy lately and I just haven't been able to go through my normal creative process. And so rather than just keep waiting until the time comes, I've been writing my ideas down and I go through them in my head, and I just thought the ideal time will never come, like I said in some of my earlier content and episodes, so I might as well just get started now. So I just finished my workout at the gym, and when I'm working out, that's when I tend to go through some of my thoughts. And some people who I know say my thoughts are quite interesting, so I just thought I'd share them with you guys, and then yeah, you might be able to learn something from them, or we can continue the discussion in the comments as well. I'm always willing to learn. I'm not teaching like a teacher. This is just what I think my experience is. Other people can learn from them, and I can also learn from other people. So that's why I'm going to start doing this series. So during my time at the gym, I was really thinking about something that we hear. It's a common phrase that people always say. We always hear the phrase, they say time heals all wounds. And I think when we think about this phrase, it can kind of lend the idea that healing is a passive process, and just the passage of time alone will heal a wound, or like a psychological or an emotional, a physical wound as well. But the thing is, I think this example is quite limited, or maybe the understanding, the very simplistic use of the term time heals all wounds. I think sometimes it can really lend credit to that idea that it's a passive process. And I think, again, we can just think that through the passage of time, things will just magically go away or things will get better. And I think sometimes that's actually not the most efficient way. And actually what can happen sometimes, especially with emotional wounds or like psychological, feelings, you can sometimes actually, things can get worse over time and wounds can get worse. Like, I'm sure we can all think about times when you've actually started missing someone more because of the distance and because of the time that you've been apart, or you actually start to look back on memories that actually they weren't really, at the time they didn't mean anything to you, and when you look back, actually now they're starting to hurt more because you realize the value of that. And that's a slightly different concept of learning appreciation. But I think in terms of healing as well, it is more of an active process, and I feel that the phrase heals all wounds isn't necessarily bad, but actually the way we can word it a bit better was actually in a book I read a while ago. Unfortunately, I can't remember the exact name, but if I go back to my library catalogue, I'm sure I can find it. It was called something like Help for the Helpers, and it was about the mental process we can go through to try and heal any emotional wounds that people have. And actually, what it said was, they say time heals all wounds, but only if that time is used for reflection and insight. And I thought that was a much better way of wording it, because I think, yeah, it's true, time helps us to heal wounds. Maybe the impact of something, especially over the passage of time, it does mellow it down a bit. But I think the main thing time does is it provides that opportunity. The more time you have between when something happened and where you are now, it provides you with that opportunity to be able to go through that process and start recovering a bit better. So I think that's really what it's about. And yeah, I think, yeah, it's just quite difficult recording like this. So I think it is about, that active process, by going through that insight and that reflection, that things actually do start to improve. So I think that's a better way of looking at healing, and a better way of looking at how time interacts with healing our wounds inside of us. But I think the other thing as well is that we can also sometimes think that healing is like a linear process. And it's true that over time, your better days will probably, you'll feel overall better. But there are days when sometimes you think you've gotten over something, and something happens, or somebody could say something, and it just pulls at your heartstrings a bit. And so I think, again, you have to remember that healing isn't a passive process, it's an active process, and that's why we should try and understand that time is more of an opportunity and a resource rather than something that heals wounds itself. And we also have to remember that healing is a continuous process, and it's not necessarily linear for all of us. And so those are just the main thoughts that I was having during my during my workout at the gym. And now that I'm just having a post-workout break and I'm just having a quick drink before I go home, I thought I would share my thoughts with you guys. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. And actually, if you enjoyed what I've been saying or any of my thoughts, then be sure to check out my books as well. I've just written some short poetry books and they explore some of the concepts that I've talked about as well, just in a bit more like of an artistic way and a bit more fleshed out in a literature form. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe with anyone who you think it can help, and stay safe.